Okay, good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good. We're on live.
Fantastic. All right. Hello, everybody. Got an interesting fight tonight. Despite how tired we may be.
I'm okay
Yeah,
actually. To be fair, got a bit of an earlier night, so I'm okay. I'm right. I'm not too bad.
that's good. Good to see you won't be nodding off during this
Yeah,
stream. It'll be a bit difficult given how exciting it is.
yeah,
Two undefeated fighters, both pretty well known for having pretty decent knockout ratios, respectively. I think both have got more or less like at least 50% knockout ratio
yeah,
between them. Both undefeated. Someone's always has to go. Quite a few titles on the line. WBA, Super World Light Title, International Boxing Federation World Light Title, World Boxing Organization World Light Title, according to
yeah.
BoxRec and other
Yeah.
ways in which they've tried to promote this.
Well, they've tried to say it's undisputed, but I think realistically, it's all a bit confusing. But the WBC fight WBC title. Devin Haney's got it, like the normal version, but the franchise belt, which is what Lomachenko had when Teofimo Lopez fought him.
Yeah,
Now Teofimo Lopez has. So you could probably say, I think Teofimo Lopez is the number one, but whether he's technically undisputed kind of is a bit debatable. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Both have got really good knockout ratios. I think it's 12, so 16 wins and 12 KOs for Teofimo Lopez, 19 wins and 10 KOs for George Kambosos Jr.
yeah,
And this is the fight. This is a fight that's been rearranged and cancelled twice, I think, beforehand. So supposed to be on Triller twice, and then eventually they just said, "Look, we don't really want it anymore," because it gave them so many issues. DAZN picked up, so that's why it's on live on DAZN, and Eddie Hearn and Matchroom were promoting it. So yeah, it should be a very interesting. There's a lot of bad blood, like a lot of bad blood. I don't know if you've seen any of the build up, but Mohammad, but as in, like Kambosos does not like Teofimo Lopez and vice versa. Like they interrupting each other at a press conference, like a lot of swearing, a lot of effing, a lot of blinding. Like as Kambosos Jr., I think is about to make his way out onto the ring, but we'll see. I mean, I think it's a lot spicier because of that build up. I don't think it would have been as much in it. I mean, I know he's undefeated, but to be fair, apart from beating Lee Selby, which was a split decision in his most recent fight, which to be fair is now just over a year ago, he doesn't have too many notable wins on his record. So it's just going to be what kind of level is he at? Teofimo Lopez, we know what he can do, but will he be a bit phased by the bother that Kambosos has given him in the build-up as well? And obviously his most recent fight was against Lomachenko, which was around a similar time as well, which was October last year as well. So let's see. What's your gut feel on it?
my gut feeling is that Teofimo is going to win this fight. I think naturally the bookies are also similarly biased in favor of Teofimo, aren't they? I mean, he's the guy who beat the man, right? Lomachenko, who's supposed to be the guy who, was like the code that couldn't be cracked, and was cracked by Teofimo. Although people argue that there was hardly any activity in the first like 6 rounds from Loma's side, but in any event, Teofimo is the guy who beat him. So I think people will be biased towards him. I agree though that both fighters have been pretty inactive. Otherwise, they haven't been in the ring for like a year between each other. We'll have to see, as you suggested, how much of the kind of psychological warfare between these two is going to impact Teofimo's performance. So I suspect it won't. But who doesn't want to see a fight where these two fighters have had bad blood between each other, and then they might come out firing a bit more than they usually would be. I mean, you'd imagine that given that they're professional, they probably won't, and that they'll obviously stick to their game plan. But it's always nice when there's a bit of bad blood, to be perfectly honest, especially between fighters that have that kind of knockout ratio.
I mean, Teofimo Lopez said that you'll knock him out in 1 round. I don't know if that's a bit of the Tyson Fury in him, that he's just saying it because he wants it. you know, he's saying I can knock you out in one round, and also the fact that, you know, he's probably not particularly happy with how Kambosos has been talking to him, etc. You know, Kambosos keeps on like interrupting when he's talking, and basically saying that he's scared, and, you know, he kept on pulling out for no reason. It's interesting as well, like the vote so far. So I've set up a poll on YouTube saying 50-50 in terms of who's going to win. So interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. 50-50. Yeah, I mean, I can see it though as well. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, no, I've got Teofimo winning this.
Yeah,
I
agreed.
think it will go to KO or TKO in the mid to late rounds.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of what I'm looking at, as I think it's who is it, Teofimo coming out now? I think Kambosos has already come out, hasn't he? So
yeah, that's correct,
yeah,
I believe. Yeah, so
Teofimo's
it must
coming
be
out. Yeah,
Teofimo now coming out.
exactly. Yeah, Dio says date set for the big fight. Amir Khan versus Kell Brook, 14th of Feb. Yep. On Valentine's Day, mate, what a love affair. How excited are you for it? And have you heard about it being announced? Yeah, I've heard about it. I don't know if it's Feb 14th, but it's definitely in February sometime. I think it's Feb 19th, maybe. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's not officially confirmed, but there's lots of rumors coming out. Probably will be.
Wow.
G Goats, thanks for joining as well. Guys, do remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Read us, help us out. Lopez won because Loma was fighting with a bad injury, and then Lopez ran for a rematch because he knows Loma is still the best. I would like to see it run back, to be fair. I know he's very adamant that, look, there was no rematch clause for me, so why should I then give Lomachenko the opportunity, which I do get, to be fair, to a degree. However, as a fan, I would love to see that. Well, I'm assuming you're the same, right, as well, Mohammad? You'd like to see that fight again, because I felt like the second half of the fight showed that it was, you know, it could set on fire from round one, really, in the next fight.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll see. Sure, we're going to see Loma back into the fray here. In this division, I mean, obviously, even if you look at BoxRec, they've got him as the best in his division. I think that might be just because these two are considered inactive on BoxRec, but no, it'll be exciting to see Loma back in and fighting these folks. Yeah, that you can definitely make the argument that he was injured. I mean, like I said, from in that fight, first 6-7 rounds, Loma wasn't really doing very much. It seems so. Yeah, perhaps there's a bit of out regarding that fight generally, and that probably makes this fight more evenly matched than we think it is. Because on paper, Teofimo looks very, very good, but if you were to see that fight, you could make the argument that he was fighting a Loma who wasn't fully fit, I guess.
Yeah, agreed. And it's interesting because Lomachenko's fighting Richard Comey, isn't he? In a few weeks, so we'll see whether we can potentially cover that. Just because I think it'll be quite interesting if Teofimo Lopez wins here, and then if Lomachenko is to win. Which, by the way, Richard Comey is not an easy fight. I mean, former IBF champion. Teofimo Lopez did knock him out. I think it was in 2 rounds, but that was a blitz. Like, it was really unexpected. And Richard Comey, to be fair, had been touted to fight someone like a Lomachenko for a couple of years, really. So that was a little bit of an upset. To be fair, Lopez at the time, it was 50-50. Gigo says, agree. Lopez won fair and square, but got lucky with the circumstances. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know he was injured as well himself because he had surgery, I think, after as well, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, I mean, as you say, yeah, got the win fair and square, but circumstances can help. It's one of those things that it'll be interesting to see again, no doubt, for sure. For sure.
Right, we're getting this fight soon underway. Both fighters now in the ring, and yeah, I'm sure the ring announcer, I think, is just announcing the 2 fighters.
There you go. There's the big water bottle. It's back. Very good. Stay nice and hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Oh.
Hashtag stay this time. Hashtag stay hydrated. This video is sponsored by H2O.
Exactly. Yeah. What do you think of the ring walks? Anything to take from it for each fighter?
To be honest, no. I mean, it looked quite standard as far as I was concerned. None of them looked particularly flashy. I didn't really catch much of the initial ring walk by I think it was Kambosos who came in first, didn't he? I didn't really catch much of that. I saw the Teofimo ring walk. I think he was just walking in normally. I didn't. Neither of them looked particularly flashy, to be perfectly honest. I can't really gauge much from the ring walks. What about you? I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
No, it wasn't like when I saw AJ walking out for the first Ruiz fight, and I was like, "Oh, that doesn't look that great." But they both seem okay. To be fair, neither seems particularly nervous. I mean, Lopez looks quite dialed in. I think Lopez Senior, who's a bit of a nutcase, to be fair, he looks pretty dialed in as well. I don't know if you've heard him in interviews and stuff, also in the presser, but he's an absolute nutter. You probably like Lopez. He's also got, that's quite interesting, he's got a almost like Spartan vest on, I think.
Yeah, I
Lopez,
see that.
which is quite interesting, very kind of Tyson Fury-esque, I guess, if you want to talk about his recent one. He's looking dead, very, very dead-eyed into the camera. And he's got an interesting, he's doing a similar, is he going to do a Deontay Wilder punch in the air? Let's see, what's he doing? He's like really winding up that backhand.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's done a bit of a punch into the air there and spun around.
That was almost like, Street Fighter Hadouken.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's. Does he usually come in wearing a Spartan outfit? I assume.
I don't, not that I've seen. I think it's probably a new thing, but it's not. To be fair, I mean, you can't complain. It's too heavy. It looks very, very light.
Well, you're right. These things can affect performance, can't they? You have to be very wary about how heavy you're coming in to the fight, not just
in
terms
terms
of your weight, but in terms of
he's just got his hood on at the moment. Kambosos just got his hood on, to be fair.
Yeah, which is now taken off. And both fighters just getting ready, I guess.
Well, I'm looking forward to this, man. I think this is going to be, I don't think this
explosive.
Yeah, I don't think, I can maybe see potentially the first round being a feel out, but I don't think after that it's going to be carnage.
That's what I want to see. I want to see this fight nice and quick so we can get back to bed. No, I'm joking.
Marvin, you seem very tired. When do you go to sleep?
Around midnight. All right, so both fighters starting this fight now, and we got Teofimo freaking coming out like a madman and swinging, but missing.
God. Oh, he wants it. He does want it first round.
If Teofimo looks like he is not going to just relax into this fight, he's already coming forward and storming forward with a bunch of hooks, but misses and gets caught in terms of a clinch with Kambosos. Referee telling them to calm the frick down. What do you think this is? Do you think this is a boxing fight and lets them both get back to fighting? Kambosos is just catching Teofimo as he comes in with a right. And Teofimo again just stalking Kambosos back into
Kambosos has got to get Lopez to respect him, right? Because at the moment it looks like he's not scared about getting clipped, so he's just stalking him, really.
Yeah, exactly. And a left thrown by Teofimo, and Kambosos coming back with a right himself. And looks like Teofimo is still walking him down and throwing a left and a right, both missing. But Kambosos looks a bit flustered, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, he does. I don't think he's expecting this at all.
And a left thrown by Kambosos. And Teofimo trying to throw a left, and Kambosos just staying out of reach there. Now Kambosos coming forward with his own with a left. Teofimo missing the jab, trying to jab again, missing. Both fighters missing with their jabs. And Kambosos with a sharp left. Yeah. I think Kambosos has gotten kind of past that initial flurry that Teofimo was trying to lay on him, and maybe I think he's just staying out of reach now and understands that he needs to just stay out of reach and use his jab to try and keep Teofimo at bay. There's about a minute left of this first round. So initially, a really exciting first few minutes here, but it looks like the fight has slightly calmed down a bit, perhaps.
Yeah. I think it's almost like Teofimo knows that he's probably not going to be able to get him out of first round.
Which is what he predicted, right?
Yeah. And I think Kambosos at the start was probably surprised that actually he did come out with that tactic to almost stalk him, but he's adjusted well, hasn't he? I think now. and he's
Yeah.
clipped him a couple of times, and Teofimo's thought, okay, I can't just be really
Or a
reckless.
nice right hand thrown by Teofimo, which
Yeah.
connects there. And I'm to be honest, Kambosos does look in not significant trouble, but he looks like he has been hit quite a few times.
Yeah,
Oh, and another right thrown by
glancing blows,
Teofimo.
aren't they?
Or yes, nice short right thrown by Teofimo, and yeah, Kambosos looks very flustered
Oh
again.
my
To be
god,
honest,
this
20
looks...
seconds left of this first round, and oh, all right, hand thrown by Kambosos.
Oh,
Teofimo
Lopez
on
on the
the
floor.
floor.
Oh,
Just a quick,
mate, that was a quick
one,
knockdown.
a really quick knockdown. It doesn't look like Teofimo's significantly hurt,
No, he just caught balance, wasn't he?
that's
He just caught balance.
yeah, I
Oh,
mean.
Kambosos on the floor. Is that knockdown?
Yeah, it's
Or
a
has he lost
slip, it's a
balance?
slip, it's a
Oh.
slip. And that's the end. Well, that's a 10-9, isn't it? A 10-8.
Oh, or
So,
10-8. Yeah, 10-8.
10-8
10-8.
round
Oh,
to
dear. That
Kambosos.
was definitely Teofimo's round until he got knocked
That's
down. That was...
Teofimo's fault. That's Teofimo's fault. It's really stupid of him.
Reckless.
So yeah, there you go. Teofimo just getting caught by, I think it was the right hand coming in, and touched the canvas. It doesn't look like it was significant in terms of the the damage caused, but enough to drop him onto the canvas and for Kambosos to steal that round, which Teofimo expended a significant amount of energy for. You could see overhand right as Teofimo was coming in, and boom. Kambosos touched the canvas there. Adil's saying that Pakistan first wicket, Abdullah Shafiq 52.
Completely unrelated, thank you.
But yeah, that's a pretty damn interesting first round. This is what I want to see. This is exciting.
Yeah,
all right, second round is underway, folks. Both fighters on the clinch right now.
Lopez, what do you think, Mon? Do you think Lopez will just keep on going 100 miles an hour to think, actually, I need to knock him out? Because
I think he's going to just keep going full steam ahead. Yeah.
Do you think he's given too much in the first round? So he's like, I've got to commit now to it. I don't want to potentially gas out.
I think so, and you can see that Teofimo is still using the same approach that he used in the first round, which is that he's trying to stalk. He's trying to stalk. He's trying to stalk Kambosos. Although Kambosos has done a good job. I mean, obviously knocked Teofimo down onto the canvas. It looks like he's taken some damage though. If you look at Kambosos' face, it looks a bit marked.
I mean, to be fair, apart from that knockdown, I don't remember Kambosos really landing anything significant anyway. Most of the shots from Teofimo I thought were glancing blows. But to be fair, in saying that, you can see the marks on Kambosos' face, and Teofimo Lopez does have power, so that's not a massive surprise.
Yeah, totally. And well, I mean, this fight is certainly still 50-50. To be honest, I mean, I feel like the fight, although it's not more in Kambosos' favor, I just feel like Kambosos has a better chance now for some reason.
Yeah.
I feel like he just comes across as slightly more sharp and aware that he can counter Teofimo as he's coming in, and he's still standing, even though Teofimo predicted the first round knockout, which I think will damage Teofimo's psychologically. It's not good for him to have predicted this and Kambosos to still be standing in front of him in the second round. There's about a minute left.
When it was obvious that he was trying to do it, wasn't he? It was obvious that it wasn't a bluff. A couple of good body shots from Teofimo, but then mainly just headhunting. It looks like now as well.
Yeah.
Kambosos looks quite sharp. To be fair, he doesn't. I mean, I wouldn't say he's got rapid hands, but he's a lot sharper than maybe I thought he would be. Like quite decent hand speed.
Yeah, that is true, and he needs to be. Otherwise, he's going to be caught by something quite hard by Teofimo. So he's certainly significantly on alert right now. And just trying his best to slip and slide these punches as Teofimo continues to come forward and to try and throw. And he's trying to work at the body right now, Teofimo, but
almost a bit of like Philly shell from Kambosos in his stance at times.
Yeah, agree. He's got that right hand up, and then you can see that sometimes he's trying to roll that shoulder at times almost.
And he's got that right hand cocked up here to counter, which is how he got the knockdown, right?
Yeah, and Kambosos again trying that overhand right, because how successful it was. It didn't work that time though. Yeah. And the second round ends, and Kambosos smiling at Teofimo, probably almost to say, "I'm still standing."
Yeah, so obviously he's a point up, isn't he? So I'll probably give that second round to Teofimo. I don't think Kambosos won that second round. What do you think?
No, yeah, I agree. I'd give that to Teofimo as well. He's just more active, and he did connect a bit more. And although Kambosos is still standing, it's, in terms of the work coming the other way, he didn't really have as much success as Teofimo did, and he did try that overhand right at the end of the second round there, but that wasn't successful this time. But still got, obviously, Kambosos up by 1.
Yeah, exactly. I'm interested. I think Teofimo does not look as confident as he did before the start of this fight when, they're both in the ring. He looks, still quite concentrated, but he looks almost, almost looks like, oh, I didn't realize it was going to be as tough as this is. I think he's a bit surprised by it, to be fair, especially after that knockdown as well. I'd imagine, I think it might take him a couple of rounds to start to adjust, but I feel like he's maybe taking this for granted and he's thought, he's really believed his own hype. He's obviously a very good fighter, but I don't know quite how well he's specifically prepared for George Kambosos Jr. I feel like he's underestimated him big time.
Yeah, I agree. And we've got the third round underway, even though DAZN just called it the second round.
Oh yeah. Oh, that is village.
Poor,
I might tweet that. I want to tweet that out, actually.
So yeah, I mean, we've got the third round underway, and I agree. I think Teofimo is he's getting frustrated now. You could tell he did the cross before he started this third round. I mean, he's praying. He's praying for something. What is he praying for? We'll see. We'll see what he's trying to implement in this third round. But it looks like much of the same. He's trying to come forward. And if you'd seen in the second round slow-mo there, you could see that actually Kambosos did have success with the overhand right again. So I feel like he's using that overhand right to significant effect in this fight so far. Just
definitely utilizing it as a counter, isn't he? And he's definitely catching Lopez when he's coming in. He's just waiting to counter.
Yeah, and right now we've got Kambosos trying to try something of his own again with the overhand right, but Teofimo just slipping that. Teofimo just walking down. Kambosos trying to back him up into the ropes, and Kambosos find himself in the clinch. Referee stepping in to break up the two fighters. 1 minute, 20-ish left of this third round, which DAZN have now adjusted.
Yeah, I just saw that. Yeah.
Oh, a nice left thrown by Kambosos, and Teofimo just standing there and taking it. To be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Kambosos has that much pop. I know, obviously, dropped Teofimo Lopez, but that's because he was coming in. He was off balance, so he will look to counter. He's not. I don't think he's going to drop Teofimo with, a punch on the front foot. I think it's going to be one, which he landed in that first round. To be fair, so
yeah, like a counter as Teofimo's coming in and kind of slightly off balance or something like that, which is fine. I mean, that's potentially how he wins this fight anyway. And as this fight progresses, I'm sure Teofimo's power is going to get reduced because he's expending so much energy in these first few rounds, and that might actually favor Kambosos as this fight continues, because Kambosos' work rate has been much less than Teofimo's, and he's just been happy for now. I think just waiting for Teofimo to come in and trying to counter him. Yeah. So in a way, this favors Kambosos.
I think Kambosos might have looked at that Lomachenko fight as well and thought, look, Teofimo can gas out towards the later rounds, especially as he tried to start off so quickly here as well. So he's probably going to start up the ante, I'd imagine, as the fight wears on, probably in that back end of the fight.
Oh, and the end of that third round, and the fighters exchange words. Referee tries to prevent him from happening and slips over himself.
Referee on his
I'm giving that to Kambosos, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, same. I think so as well. Guys, we've got quite a few people in the chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, please do like the video and subscribe to the channel if you don't mind. Really does help us out. If you're watching on Twitter, please do like the stream and retweet it as well. That again does help us out. And if you're watching on Twitch, do follow us on Twitch and like the stream as well. Thank you. Appreciate it. It does help. That's why we do say it, because it helps us to grow, and we are growing as a channel. And if you want to hear fantastic commentary, mainly from Mohammad, who's a better boxing commentator than me, then do get involved and like and subscribe. And you can see my ugly mug on here as well, most of the time on the boxing side. At the end there, I was a bit worried for Kambosos. They didn't really catch him. They were glancing shots, but he definitely come with bad intentions, Lopez, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has, as this fourth round is now underway. But I feel as if this fight is starting to maybe tip in Kambosos' favor, unless Lopez is coming out with something that we're unaware of, or until eventually or inevitably perhaps Lopez does connect with something quite hard and Kambosos touches the canvas,
Yeah,
which
that's
can
what I was
happen
going to
as
say.
well.
I think he just needs to land something significant, Lopez, doesn't he? Just to let Kambosos know I'm still here, like I can be a threat. Because as you said, he hasn't really hurt him. I know he's definitely tagged him a few times, but it's not been significant shots that have landed flush. Right? He loves that left hook, Lopez, the lead left hand, and then left hook to the head. Sometimes going to the body, but just hasn't had a huge amount of success so far with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's about less than 2 minutes of this fourth round. Again, overhand right thrown by Kambosos, and again connecting there. I think Lopez needs to be really aware of that overhand right. He's been caught with it way too many times. Yeah, both fighters just in the center of the ring. Nice right to the body thrown by Kambosos. And Lopez trying to come forward with a jab and just missing.
Yeah, I think.
Oh, nice left thrown by Kambosos. Lopez just smiling at him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Lopez just smiling. I think Teofimo needs to step it up, and I know just throwing for the sake of it is not particularly helpful as well, because he will gas out, especially as he spent a lot of energy early doors. But he needs to be smarter, I think, with his work. I think he's smothering it at times, and he's not really setting it up nicely at the moment. And Teofimo Lopez's dad looks really worried in the corner as well.
Yeah, and I think they just threw up some of the statistics for that previous round. That I think they had mentioned Teofimo had 4% more in terms of punches connected than Kambosos, which is it's a very slim margin, to be
Slim, yeah,
perfectly
means
honest.
nothing, to be fair. Compy is also not the best, not always the best stat, to be fair.
Predictor of
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely good to look at times, but also you need to take into account power punches, how many have actually landed, how well has it landed, and it's all quite subjective. But yeah, I mean, it shows there's not a lot in terms of not a lot in it in terms of output anyway between the two so far. It's now become a little bit of a chess match, which is quite funny, to be fair.
Yeah, and you can see Teofimo getting marked up as well now. Oh, quite a few
Ooh, good
exchanges
combination.
that
Oh,
left thrown by Teofimo that connected
ooh,
quite
hello.
heavily there.
I tell
But
you what, that was
Kambosos
fiery
is still
exchange at the end.
standing.
Combinations thrown by both fighters. I don't think there was anything specifically significant, although Teofimo's eye looks a bit cut. He sticks out his tongue to the camera, but I think he's too distracted. I mean, he needs to just focus on the job at hand here. Forget about trying to, pose for the camera.
Yeah, I'm giving that to Kambosos again, to be honest. I think he had more success in the early and mid parts of that round, and I think he did connect. He
Let's
did
have a look at this.
there you go, nice short left there in that
Oh,
slow
that's a
mo.
good left hook. Very good left hook from Kambosos. And that's what's caused, I think, he's got a bit of swelling underneath his right eye now.
Yeah,
Lopez, so he needs to be careful, to be fair, because he doesn't want this fight to be stopped by any stretch of the imagination, especially as at the moment. I think now, what have you got? Kambosos up by one, have you, or is it
no, I've got
even
him up by 3.
by three?
Yeah, I had
Well,
him up
but
in the
apart from
second, third, and fourth. Sorry,
we got
no,
2 points
sorry,
then.
third and fourth, third and fourth. Yeah, and
Okay, so
obviously the first round is a 10-8, so 3.
oh yeah, of course, yeah, wow,
But one thing I wanted to mention as we enter this fifth round is I think it's really dangerous that Kambosos went into that exchange at the last part of that previous round.
yeah.
I
I
think he
don't
could have
think
easily
he needs
gone
to.
caught, and he shouldn't do that. I wouldn't. If I was in his corner, I wouldn't be telling Kambosos to get into exchanges because that favors Teofimo as far as I'm aware. Kambosos is doing perfectly well, just trying to fight defensively, waiting for Teofimo to come in and trying to counter him and trying to
Yeah,
stay sharp and slip him and slide him, because that's the approach that Kambosos should be taking to win this fight. He shouldn't exchange in a war. Like
yeah,
that's not his style to take in this fight. He's not going to win if he
yeah.
tries to war with Teofimo. He's going to get caught.
No, I agree. I think he needs to frustrate Lopez, as he said, which he's been doing quite well for the most part, to be fair. I think the only issue might be is that, yeah, if him and his corner might think, oh, actually, for example, you might be giving the rounds to him, but the fact that Lopez is the home fighter, the judges could be a little bit biased. It's interesting here that Chris
Good point.
Mannix, who to be fair is not a particularly great boxing correspondent, if I'm honest, but he's got Kambosos Jr. up 1 because he's given 2 and 3 to Lopez, which I can see, to be fair, but at least he's got Kambosos up by 1 point.
Yeah, it's going to be tighter, I assume, on the judges' scorecard, factoring in the potential home fighter bias and the fact that Kambosos hails from Australia, doesn't he?
Yeah, and they always say you got to rip the belts away. What do you think about that, by the way? Do you think you should have to rip the belts away? Should it just be, you know what, like you shouldn't have to do more than normal to win a fight against a champion?
I think there's a bit of reasoning to the idea that as a challenger you should be doing a bit more than the champion in theory. I mean, I don't think that should put you at a significant disadvantage though, but sometimes I feel it's reasonable for people to have the initial bias in favor of the champion. I would imagine. So if a fight was completely like evenly handed in theory, I would rather lean to the champion, given that they're the champion, than to the challenger.
Initially, and he's given them the challenger the chance, right? So that makes sense.
Already half a minute left of this fifth round.
Did you see that? Lopez put his knee up and then touched it with his glove. That was bizarre.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a ritual or something, but
a ritual.
But 15 seconds left of this fifth round, and I mean, to be perfectly honest, how do you score this?
Back, so. I don't know. This is such a scrappy round. I mean, you can give it to whoever you want. To be fair, it's a swing round. I mean, I think Lopez is being a little bit more active at the end, but he hasn't actually landed anything there. So I think, to be fair, Kambosos, I would give it to him. To be fair, but you'd imagine the judges probably have given that to Lopez because, again, you know, we're talking about the champion and there wasn't really much in it, and that's perfectly fine. But it's a swing round for sure. So I think you've got Kambosos up by 4 now, right?
I'm giving that one to Teofimo.
I've
got Kambosos up by 3.
Up by 3, sorry,
at this stage, yeah.
I've also got Kambosos up by 3 because I gave Teofimo Lopez a previous round. I think when you gave Kambosos the round, but yeah, I've got him up by 3, and you can see Kambosos is just goading Teofimo at the end there. He did land with a left to the body, Teofimo, but it was just a straight short shot that wouldn't have really caused too much damage. And then the next 2 shots at the end not landing, I mean, missing by quite a distance. So he's definitely being frustrated here, and this is not as easy as I think he thought it was going to be. To be fair, it's definitely not as easy as he thought it would be.
Yeah, Teofimo with the cross again as he enters the 6th round. Teofimo now still King Kambosos again. Very much the same approach throughout this whole fight. Teofimo just taking the position of the aggressor, and Kambosos kind of happy to stay on the back foot and try to counter.
This definitely is not. I've not been impressed whatsoever by Lopez so far, and it's been quite disappointing, honestly, because, you know, he obviously has the most notable win in the division out of the so-called, like, you know, young 4 kings coming through himself: Devin Haney, Tank Davis, and also Ryan Garcia. And you know, obviously he took that step, but it seems almost like, and people are saying it might have gone to his head a little bit. I don't think that's entirely true, but I do think he's definitely not prepared correctly, but from what it seems for this fight. I don't know if physically maybe he has, but mentally he doesn't seem it.
Yeah, and well, I think we also have to give credit to Kambosos. He's a good opponent, and he's come into this fight nice and sharp. And despite the significant pressure that Teofimo put onto him in the first round, and then the successive rounds, he's continued to be the aggressor. Kambosos has done a good job of trying to diffuse this pressure fighting, and it throws a nice strong jab through the middle there of Teofimo's guard. And he's happy to come forward with his own as well, and throw his own.
Uppercut left hook from Teofimo Lopez, but misses. It's really good movement, to be fair, from Kambosos. He's just good head movement, good upper body movement as well. To be fair, he's been quite elusive, and it's been impressive. And then, as you said, he's got his shots off when he's needed to. to make sure that he's being active there as well. So he's been quite good actually, a lot better than I would have expected given what I've seen of him in the past.
Yeah, agree. And yeah, so far this has been a super exciting, interesting fight to watch. You know, nice and fast paced, explosive, and there's always that element that you think you might see someone hit the canvas at any point because they're
Yeah,
still carrying quite a lot of power,
agreed.
especially Teofimo.
Do you think that Lopez needs to go to the body more to try and slow Kambosos down? He hasn't really. He's kind of neglected the body for the most part. Kambosos, I know, thrown a body shot a few seconds back, but Teofimo Lopez mainly just kind of headhunting. I think he's
Yeah,
being a bit impatient there. Do you think?
yeah, no, I agree. I agree. He's been impatient. He's gone for a lot of headhunting, and there's some showboating from
Yeah,
Kambosos in
it
the
was a good
last
right
30
hand. To be
seconds.
fair, it's a good right hand. And he winds up his right
Oh, a
hand.
nice left as Teofimo was coming forward as well. And
Oh,
there's quite a bit of blood on Cambos's face, but I
yeah,
don't know
there
where
is.
that's coming from. Is that
Let's
coming
have a
from his
look.
own cut?
I think it's coming from. It's a cut on his. Is it on his nose?
Looks like
Let's have
maybe
a
a
look.
cut on the inside of his nose, perhaps. But we'll see from the highlights.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm inclined to give that to Kambosos, but
yeah,
I
I
need
would
to
as
check
well.
what that highlight is showing us and whether that cut came from something quite heavy that Teofimo
Agreed. Yeah,
was throwing. But I've got
yeah.
Kambosos up by 3, and the highlight is showing a very stiff right
Oh,
thrown by Kambosos.
good shot. Very good shot.
Yes, so
Yeah,
I think he had a lot of success in that round. To be honest,
agreed.
I'm
Yeah.
sure Teofimo did not expect to be at this stage in the seventh round
Yeah,
fight.
exactly. Yeah, guys, as well, please. Well, 77% of you saying Teofimo to win, which is interesting, and also thank you. We've got over 15 of you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, or 17 actually. Please remember to like the video if you don't mind. If you're watching on YouTube, it really does help us out. Liking the video, it's a big thumbs up button, and do subscribe to the channel. It does really help us out. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. And the seventh round is now on the way. So I mean, Teofimo, in my view, needs to do something and
Yeah,
get that knockdown that he's been searching for throughout this whole fight. Again, just taking the position of aggressor. Let's see if he tries to go to the body a bit more in this seventh round. It looks like he's headhunting though again.
yeah, it could be a little bit, could be too little, too late. I mean, unless he goes quite heavy to the body for maybe 2-3 rounds, and then invests in it, so that down the stretch, then he can potentially tire out Kambosos. But really, he should have been going at it earlier because now he's got to with midway point, and I'm not quite sure what his game plan is. He looks a bit all over the
Oh,
place, honestly.
nice right thrown by Kambosos,
Yeah,
and I think Teofimo is starting to slow down. You can see his pace
yeah.
looks slower, and you can see that Kambosos still looks pretty sharp, to be honest.
Yeah. To
And
be
I
fair,
have
he
a
could be dead at
feeling
the
that
weight as well. I mean, they keep on saying that he struggles to make weight. Teofimo, and that he's probably got one, maybe two maximum fights, including this fight at this weight, because he's quite big for it. That's not an excuse. I mean, that's just like what they've been saying. That won't be the reason why he loses this fight, even if that's what they say after. But at the moment, he just does not, as you're saying, he looks like he's not particularly active, and he's slowed down like considerably, hasn't he? Since the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, agree. He's still stalking Kambosos, but he looks slower, and you can just tell the difference between these two fighters now because Kambosos is coming across as far sharper than him, and you
Yeah,
can see he looks really alert, still sharp, still in this fight, Kambosos, and you can see Teofimo is probably going to get himself caught, probably going to get caught with a bunch more counters than he usually has been throughout this fight. I think at least. Um,
yeah. I mean, Teofimo
and this will
he's
get
still so
worse. This will get
dangerous,
worse.
but he has to catch him, as you said. Like now, he needs a significant shot or two at least to drop Kambosos or have him, stumble something. He needs to hurt him in some way because at the moment, Kambosos is just growing in confidence as the rounds go on.
Agree, and that's notwithstanding the fact that, to be honest, Kambosos has been marked quite a lot by Teofimo. Maybe the judges will be seeing that and scoring the fight differently to how we have it. Because
Yeah,
if you were to look at their faces, Kambosos has certainly been caught
yeah,
more by Teofimo in terms of the marking that he has to his face. I
yeah.
mean, Teofimo has the marking himself, but you can see how
He's
much
more,
Kambosos has been
yeah,
bleeding at different points.
he's more swelling, isn't he, on Teofimo's face rather than cuts. But yeah, I agree. I think
Oh, a
Teofimo's obviously got
nice
more
left thrown
power,
by
but
Kambosos. That's
yeah, good
that
left
seventh round.
round slide. Yeah,
You can see Kambosos is full of energy. He's just bursting with energy and jumping about after the end of that
Yeah.
seventh round. And you can see how Teofimo is looking far less confident in his corner. You can see he's getting smaller in terms of his own energy. And Kambosos is looking far more excited. And I think, you know, I have a feeling that as this fight now starts to progress and we move on to the 8th round and into the final round, if we get to those final rounds, I believe Kambosos will start shutting Teofimo down every single round now. My personal opinion.
Oh,
I
really?
think
Wow.
he's throwing much more frequently now, Kambosos. He's much more confident. You can see he's just buzzing with energy. I've got Kambosos up by 5.
Oh,
And
wow.
maybe that's significantly different to how everyone else is scoring it. But I
Yeah.
just see Kambosos is actually starting to run away in this fight. That's how I'm personally seeing it as we move into this 8th round. But maybe you have a different view, Fazan, and you think it's slightly more close than I have it. But
No, I mean, I kind of tend to agree. I mean, do I have it that wide? I mean, yeah. To be fair, if we're going to give as well, there's probably 1 or 2 swing rounds in there, but I think even then he's still up on the cards. I just think that Teofimo Lopez has to come on strong now in these last, what was it, 5 rounds? It will be 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So he just has to step it up. But I don't know if he can. As you said, I don't know, as there's a bit of bleeding coming down the left eye, I think it is, of Teofimo, or a cut. Something's there, or swelling. But yeah, he's just throwing wildly at times in combinations. The uppercut and left hook, and it's just not landing. He looks slow and lumbering at the moment, to
there
be
you
fair.
go, and you see that Mannix.
Oh my
It's
god.
got
Yeah.
Kambosos up by 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Which I'm not surprised by. And
No,
I just
the
feel
last
like,
4 rounds, the Kambosos has given, hasn't he? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, if I was in Kambosos' corner, I would be telling him, yeah, keep doing what you're doing and try
Great
to
left
avoid
hook.
getting, yeah, I mean, he needs to avoid getting hit though, because Kambosos, with the fact that he's bleeding at different points in this fight, he still has that potential of, I don't know, the cuts opening up
Yeah.
significantly. For example, his cut man needs to do the best work of his life in order to make sure Kambosos can continue for these next few rounds, because if he
I don't
does,
think
I
it's
see
that
him
bad, is
winning.
it? It's not that bad, I don't think, the cuts. They're not that bad.
There is a worry though, isn't there, when you got
Yeah,
him
there's
cut
always a worry, yeah. But I think
that
it
thing can
depends on
start
how
opening up.
deep it is. If it is running down his face, for example, for a
There is
lot of the
some blood
round,
running down there though.
yeah. But I think he looks okay. I mean, I don't think it's as deep as maybe. But you're right. I mean, it could get worse especially if Teofimo is clever and targets it. But it seems like he's not having the chance really to do it. To be fair,
Yeah,
because Kambosos is not really letting him land much, which is a testament to his offensive capabilities at the moment. But that's better from Lopez going to the body with the right hand. But there's a good left hook by Kambosos early on, which definitely was a good shot.
yeah, for sure. And right now we've got 30 seconds left of this 8th round, and yeah, Kambosos is trying to throw a bunch of jabs to come forward. Oh, he did connect there, I think, with his left jab coming forward. Oh, a nice right hook, I think it was, a nice few combinations thrown by
Oh yeah,
Kambosos as
I like
well.
that. I like that a lot.
And Teofimo just, don't know, you can see he is getting more sluggish. Oh, nice left though, thrown by Teofimo.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kambosos needs to stay out of these engagements though, and you can see he's battling.
Oh, uppercut.
That's the
Oh, he's
thing.
hurt. He's hurt. Oh, he's hurt. Oh, he's
Kambosos
gonna
getting
drop.
into one of those wars that he really shouldn't be getting
Oh,
into,
he's
and he
hurt.
did get connected. He did get hit with a bunch of hooks. I
He
think
was
in the
hurt
process.
there. Yeah,
This
because
is
the
not
uppercut, I
what
think
Kambosos needs
it
to
was.
be
I
doing.
think it was a left uppercut, and you could see Kambosos' legs stiffen, and he basically went square. And he's lucky
Yeah,
that round ended when it ended, because I'll tell you what,
I'm
he was going down. He
I'm
was
giving
going
that
down.
round to Teofimo,
Yeah,
and Kambosos now up by 5, but 4. But no, this is not what Kambosos should be doing. I mean, this is really stupid. He shouldn't be getting into these types of exchanges, and in the latter half of these rounds, because number one, Teofimo has nothing to lose in the last 15
yeah.
seconds of each
Have a
round.
look.
So, he's happy to war with Kambosos. And if Kambosos tries to exchange himself, he's going to
Yeah,
get caught with, oh
yeah.
man, the right and that
Also, it's
strong left, double left hook.
but it was a right uppercut, but it was actually him on the solar plexus, like the chest, and then he, as you said, the left and right hand. the short hooks, and that definitely hurt him. Definitely.
That's just stupid by Kambosos, to be honest. He's doing so well for him to potentially throw this fight away by getting into these stupid exchanges that you shouldn't be getting into. And now obviously he's entering into this 9th round, probably a bit phased. And who knows, maybe Teofimo will try and go in for the kill and put more pressure in this 9th round because he felt the success of those last few seconds in the 8th.
Needs to set it up though, doesn't he? I think Lopez should know now after that first 2 rounds, you can't just stalk him and just throw willingly just whenever he wants and expect to land. I think Kambosos has definitely shown his defensive capabilities, so he needs to be clever about it, Teofimo. Whether he can be, and he's got a good boxing brain from what we've seen in the past. I mean, to beat Lomachenko, you need to. So he should be able to figure this out. It's just a question of how can he set it up, and then does he have the speed? Because as you've said, rightfully so, he's definitely slowed down. Will Kambosos slow down slightly towards the back end as well, though, is the other thing. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I think just the main thing for Kambosos to watch is getting into those exchanges, because even though Teofimo has started to slow down, there's always that potential that he can just rack up a bunch of punches in 15 seconds at the end of a round and see where it takes him. And he can connect with those punches at the end of that round. So it is dangerous. You can see 41% power punches thrown by Lopez and 38% thrown by Kambosos.
Yeah.
Pretty close again, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, a lot more actually thrown in general by Kambosos. So showing the activity definitely coming more from the Australian. Doesn't have as much power, but you don't need to if you're going to win on points. And he is the one, to be fair, with the knockdown, right, so far. So shows that he's got respectable power at least.
Yeah, and Teofimo with nice right, and Kambosos looking a bit. Kambosos is in trouble. Kambosos is in trouble. He's eaten a bunch of right hooks there, and he's got 45 seconds to stay in this 9th round. He looked a bit flustered by those punches, but he is thrown back. I mean, if I was him, I would just tie up Lopez, which is what he's trying to do there. Referee steps in, 30 seconds left of this 9th round. And
2 straight right hands, wasn't it? The 2 straight right hands from Kambosos, just straight down the pipe, and by Lopez.
Yeah. And there's 20 seconds left of this 9th round, and thankfully for Kambosos, both fighters in the clinch again. Referee stepping in, 14 seconds left, and this looks like a round for Teofimo, and thankfully for Kambosos, he hasn't sustained any further damage here. He does try a few counters as Teofimo comes in, but that's a round for Teofimo again. I mean, I think Kambosos is getting into these exchanges at points that he shouldn't be getting into.
To be fair, I don't even think he got into the exchange. I think he just got caught, didn't he, with the initial right hand, and then
you're right.
with 1-2, and then after that he was a bit dazed, and then he got caught. Was it twice again? To be fair, but a little bit surprising that Kambosos seems to have. I think actually the initial last round when he got hurt. I think that slowed him down a bit. It's now looking like whoever wins this is just going. They're basically both are going to have to dig deep. And it's whoever wants it more, I think, now. I know it's a cliche, but I genuinely do think that now, because I think both have now slowed down enough that it's going to be has the more quality work. But Lopez is going to have to so I think we've got Kambosos up 2. Is that correct?
I've got Kambosos up 3.
3. Okay, 3. So then Lopez still needs to win pretty much every round, but he's won the last 2, so the momentum's with him. He now needs to swing this fight literally in his favor.
Yeah, and the judges will have it closer, I'm sure. They'll have Kambosos maybe up by 1 now, or maybe even a draw.
So if he wins the next 3 rounds, then you've got it a draw, right? But realistically, I think, as you said, I think they probably got Kambosos up maybe 1 or 2, you'd imagine. I don't think they'll have him up 3, but you never know. Know.
So if Teofimo manages to continue putting pressure on and has a few good exchanges, I have a feeling the judges will give it to Teofimo. But we'll have to see. There's still three rounds to play in this fight.
Yeah, depends how they scored it so far, isn't it? I guess. I mean, if they're going with your scorecard or potentially Chris Mannix's, which I think was pretty similar, funnily enough, although normally it's not, then they probably will go for a draw. But Lopez still has to do it. I mean, so actually, that's interesting. Chris Mannix has got Kambosos up 2. Yeah, so if he's got him up 2, then that means that really, that's it. These last 3 rounds are crucial, right?
Oh, is it?
Oh, he's
That's
dropped him.
it? Or
Oh, he's
is that
dropped
a
him.
knockdown? That is a
I think it's
knockdown.
a knockdown.
That
I
is a
don't know what he caught him
knockdown.
with. I don't know what he
Oh,
caught him
it's
with,
a right.
actually.
I think it was a right.
I think it
Or
was a
maybe that
right
was a
hand, yeah.
follow-up afterwards, but it looked
Yeah, it
like
was
a
a follow-up.
right
I
to
think
me.
it might have been a short, I think, left
And there's
uppercut,
1
actually. We'll
minute
see.
40 left of this
He's
10th
gonna finish
round,
it. He's gonna
and
try and
he's
finish
in
it now.
trouble.
Oh, he's
He's
in
in
massive
trouble.
trouble. Those
Kambosos is
last
in a
couple of rounds
lot
have
of
killed him.
trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. I would be wrapping up if I was Kambosos, but Kambosos exchanging, trying to get into the
Oh,
exchange, which is not a good idea per
he's
se.
gonna
I
get
would
dropped again.
imagine. 1 minute 30 left of this 10th round. Kambosos is in
Not look
survival mode,
steady. You look at him.
staggering
He's oh
about.
my god. He does not look good.
His legs are weak right now. Kambosos. Kambosos
You know,
needs to
he's
wrap him
gone.
up.
Mom, no, he can't, Mama. He can't recover. He knows he's
Teofimo
got so close
taunting
to him.
Kambosos
Yeah,
as he comes forward, and Kambosos tying him up. There's
I
about
think
1 minute left.
he's throwing. He's going to try and throw haymakers here now, Kambosos, because I think
Oh,
he
it
knows.
looks like Kambosos is he's Teofimo should be coming forward right now, but I mean there's 1 minute left
But
and
he needs to be
Kambosos
calculated
seems
right there.
okay.
Do you think?
Oh,
No, I don't think so.
maybe Teofimo is just trying to pick his punches a bit
Yeah, he
more
has
and
to. He
slowed
has
it
to be
down.
selective. Yeah,
But you
he
could
does.
see
Yeah.
Kambosos is still staggering about right now. He's definitely his equilibrium is
Agreed.
still
Yeah.
not in the right
He shouldn't
space.
be throwing one shots though, should he, Teofimo?
But
Should
yeah,
be throwing combinations.
Teofimo not making use of this. To be honest, maybe he's happy with the 10-8 round. But oh, a
Oh,
nice
good
left
left
thrown by
hook.
Teofimo.
Left
And
hook.
Kambosos is really, I
Oh
think,
my
just a
god.
few punches away or just a punch away from hitting that canvas again. But he might be saved by the bell as there's 20 seconds left of this 10th round.
Oh, good movement from Kambosos. I don't know. Maybe he's recovering. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But
I don't know if he's recovered, but he's thankfully managed to, I think, for
he's
his
got heart,
sake,
man. He's
he's
got heart,
managed
to be
to
fair.
ride this wave and keep himself into the fight as we move into potentially this 11th round. And I think there's 2-3 seconds
Unbelievable.
left, and that's it. He's managed to survive,
Oh,
but he's taken a
that's
battering in the process.
to be fair,
And
you could potentially. Oh, well, that's definitely a 10-8 round, that's for sure. But
that is
that
so.
was wow. Let's have a look at the shot, guys. There's over 20 of you in the chat as well. Thanks for joining.
Somehow
Please
I've
remember
got
to like and sub.
Somehow I've got Kambosos up by 1 now, but I think in reality, I'm sure the judges have Teofimo winning this fight now.
And they've probably got at least a draw, you'd imagine, right? At this point.
Yeah. So I think Kambosos. I mean, that's not Kambosos' fault necessarily. I mean, I don't think he's trying to get into exchanges. He's just gotten caught. Quite a bit,
the problem is it happened right at the start of the round as well.
Yeah, Kambosos trying to
dip
come down and getting that right hand in the process of trying to block that left hand of Teofimo.
Can I say that's really intelligent fighting from Teofimo, because I think he must have seen a pattern where Kambosos dips to the right. You know, we saw that with Canelo and what was it, Billy Joe Saunders, where Billy Joe Saunders kept on dipping to the right, and then Canelo caught him exactly the same as Teofimo did, going down, right hook punching down. That's really impressive on Lopez, managing to read that and anticipate it and then hit him. That's intelligent boxing for sure.
Yeah, and I mean we're moving into this 11th round now, and I mean it looks like it's tipped into Teofimo's favor, but Kambosos seems to have not necessarily recovered. Maybe he's just trying to put on the show that he has recovered, but he looks far more in control compared to how he was looking in the latter half of that previous round. He's trying to throw himself a few punches there, but I mean you wonder how much power there is behind these punches. And Teofimo with a left that connects, and you just get the feeling that Kambosos is just a few punches away from hitting the canvas again, to be honest. You know, even though Teofimo slowed down, it looks like he's managed to retain his power into these latter rounds. And
Lopez shakes his head. You'd imagine that he still carries power. We know that, I think, Lopez to the latter rounds, but Kambosos doesn't quite look like that. Like he has. I mean, he didn't have a huge amount of power to start off with, but it was enough. It was respectable. I'm just wondering whether he's able to fend Lopez off these last couple of rounds and then be elusive and potentially try and nick it. But it's going to have to be hard. Guys, as well, we've got over 20 of you in the chat. Thank you for joining. Please do remember to like the video if you don't mind. Really does help us out on YouTube, and do subscribe. A bit of blood, though, running down from Lopez's chest, actually. So cuts open up. You can see
from his left eye. I think that's where the cuts come from. Nice right thrown by Kambosos. But again, it's not really a power punch or anything like that.
Ooh.
I mean,
quick hands there.
He's still got quick hands, and
Look at Teofimo's face.
He might steal this round. He might steal this round. And if
Have
he
you seen
steals this
Teofimo's
round,
face?
yeah,
There's blood
it's
everywhere, man.
covered with blood. This has been a great fight, and the fight's momentum has shifted throughout, and yeah, it's been a real pleasure to watch so far. I mean, it's 40 seconds left this 11th round, and perhaps Kambosos is going to nick this 11th round. And if he does,
Yeah.
it throws more down. Oh, okay. So referee just stopping the fight initially.
What?
Whoa. No. He's just letting the medical guy. You see Kambosos lifting his gloves though, because we got it on silent.
What?
It almost looks like he's trying to stop it or something.
Oh, the
But
doctor's checking.
nah, the doctor's just checking the cuts on.
Well,
on
Kambosos is doing that because Kambosos want to stop it because he's
gives
thinking, I've just been
Kambosos
stopped
some time to rest as well, doesn't it?
It does, yes, that's good. Exactly, yeah, agreed, 100%. Gives him more time to recover. Although, to be fair, he doesn't look on unsteady legs at the moment. I wouldn't say he's super steady either, but he's not particularly unsteady, to be fair.
I agree, but any bit of rest is probably good for Kambosos while he's getting examined and just allowing him to lean his gloves against the ropes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that not only because of the fact the medical examiner had to take a look at Teofimo, but also because I think Kambosos had the better exchanges in that round. I'm giving that to Kambosos.
Yeah. So I think on Chris Max's card that would be 1 round to Kambosos. So Lopez would need to win the last round to get a draw. But you're saying Kambosos is 1 for me unless he gets knocked out, or it's a knockdown and then it's a draw, right? So
this
really
has been a very close fight.
Agreed.
Very close fight.
Better than Crawford Porter, then I feel.
Way better than Crawford Porter. I know a lot of people said whatever on YouTube about that
fight.
Fair, while they're watching the highlights. It was exciting, but to be honest, I found it really boring.
One person that I actually agreed with you was Frank Warren. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but Frank Warren said that. And you know what the funny thing is? He said exactly what you said, which was it didn't quite set on fire and they were tying each other up quite a lot, but there was quality obviously from Crawford, which shone through in the end. But yeah, interesting. Look at his face. I mean, it's like a horror story. It's a good right hand from Kambosos. Again, glancing blows, nothing.
This has been a great fight.
Quality. Great to watch.
I mean, it could go either way, and if it goes either way, I won't be that mad. And even if it goes for a draw, I wouldn't be that mad. It's probably most appropriate. I would think. I mean, I'd like to see these two fight again. Even. I mean, that'd be nice, but in this 12th round, and I feel like this round is critical for both fighters. Whoever comes out on top in this round is probably going to send the best message to the judges if it does eventually go this whole distance, which looks like the likelihood. And this might be the difference between winning and losing this fight. You can see Mannix's scorecard and how close he has it as well. He's got Kambosos up by 1 overall, and you can see how close this fight is. This fight is going to give this last round everything, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean they will. They're just throwing. You can see Lopez needs to be active. So does Kambosos. He needs to make sure he's at least countering, making him look silly, make him try and miss. I'm not quite sure how the card's going to go. I don't think we're going to see a knockdown in this last round. You never know, but there's less than 2 minutes to go. And I think Teofimo is probably a bit wary of getting dropped in the last round as well, as he winds up that right hand. Kambosos, he thinks he's won this. You can tell.
Yeah, and he's certainly got his confidence back, Kambosos, and it looks like he's back on his feet and his equilibrium is back in check. It seems. I mean, obviously we don't really know, but he's given off that impression, which is good for him that he's recovered, and you still see that blood streaming down Lopez's face. And Kambosos ideally wants to try and target that cut again.
Yeah.
See if he can bust something up in this last minute.
Exactly,
that overhand right would be effective again. I mean, he's had a lot of success with it. It's nearly a minute left this 12th round, and Kambosos with a sharp left, and again trying the left. Teofimo just kind of, I think, waiting to set up a power punch and just missing there.
Good exchange, but not
45
really
seconds left of this final round. Something tells me that Teofimo is going to try and get into an exchange with Kambosos in the last 20 seconds, and they're going to go flying again with a bunch of hooks and all this kind of
I agree.
madness.
People try and nick rounds right in the last 20 seconds and they basically they take almost most of the round when they're not doing too much, and then the last 20 seconds to make sure that they catch the judge's eyes. A lot of people do that to try and nick the round. I'm assuming both will go pretty hell for leather in the last 15 seconds.
Yeah,
Good
and
right
we're
hand from
about to
Lopez.
enter that last 15 seconds now. And I mean, another thing that's going to be catching the judges' eyes is all the blood streaming down the left eye of Teofimo Lopez. Or a nice uppercut thrown by Kambosos. And I have a feeling that Kambosos is nicking this round. He's just been a bit more effective, and that's the end of that 12. Well, that's a great fight to watch, and I'm giving that to Kambosos. It looks like Kambosos is the one who's coming out, is the one who's
Lopez doesn't look.
Lopez getting on.
He goes on the ropes, but I tell you what, he doesn't look confident.
He doesn't look confident, and Kambosos looking very happy. So I think both corners are going to think that their man has won this fight. To be honest, I mean,
he's saying I'm the champion to the camera, but that's probably the worst thing you could do, because especially if you don't get given the decision. I mean, he's a talker. I tell you what, if he doesn't get this fight, he will be going absolutely ballistic. I'm just going to warn you before. I'm pretty sure. Eddie Hearn claps Kambosos Jr., but I don't think he's particularly saying that he's the champ. I think he's just clapping to say, we'll see.
There's a bit of booing. I've kind of got my sound up now. I'm just hearing a bit of booing for Kambosos, but obviously I think it's because he's not a home fighter.
Yeah, he won't care. He won't give a damn.
I finished this fight with Kambosos up by 3. That's how I finished it. What did you have it?
I think I had him up by 2. So let's see. I mean, I definitely had him winning for sure.
He wins on our scorecards at least. So
yeah, I mean, to be fair, sometimes our scorecards have been wrong. I think, for example, the AJ Usyk, I think we got that wrong. But to be fair, I think Chris Mannix is probably not the best. But from what it seems like the commentators are saying as well, I think he should get this decision. I think if he doesn't, it's not a robbery, but it's in my estimation, it's some unfair bias. I think. I know he's a champion, but you shouldn't be getting all that much bias.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think both fans for this fight are going to walk away thinking someone was robbed. However, even if we can see both these fights potentially winning. Especially with the judges' slight bias, I imagine, for Lopez. I think that both fans are going to feel as if their man was robbed, regardless of who wins this fight. Unless it goes to a draw. I mean, I think if it goes for a draw, that's reasonable as well. To be perfectly honest, it's not going to be a crowd pleaser, but it means they'll go again at some point. I would imagine they'd want to go again. I think this fight's been super exciting. I think this was a really fan friendly fight. It was explosive. Looks like both fighters have gained some respect for each other potentially, as we see Kambosos approaching Lopez, and both the fighters kind of shaking hands.
Let's see. What was he saying?
I feel like Kambosos is probably telling him that look, I've won this fight. But he's probably praising him right now, I would imagine, because Teofimo doesn't look that mad.
I don't think he's but I think he's a bit subdued to Teofimo, because I think he's trying to wait to see what the result is, but before he starts kind of arguing with him, I think. But I think at the end, right, and to be fair to both fighters even, like well played, like genuinely well played, well fought. I think, as you said, it was a really good showing. Just generally as a spectacle, I think it was disappointing, no doubt, from Teofimo. I think this definitely wasn't the best that we've seen from Teofimo. But what I would say is that Kambosos fought really well. I think a lot better than expected. I think Teofimo was shocked, really, especially in that first one when he got dropped. And then from there, it was, yes, there was some twists and turns, no doubt. But I think genuinely that we look at this fight and, I think I'd look at it again. And,
all right,
Kambosos is a lot better.
Coming out now.
Let's have a look. Let's see let's put the volume up.
Okay.
Let's see. Split decision, I bet.
Someone's going to give a draw, I'm sure. Ooh, 115, 111 Kambosos. That is significant margin.
Pretty much. 4 round.
114, 113. Ooh, Lopez, always going to be a split decision or a draw. Oh my god. 115, 112. Oh my god. Oh my God, they gave it to they gave it to
They
Kambosos.
gave it to Kambosos. And you
When
know
they
what?
said
I'll tell you
undefeated,
what.
I thought, oh,
Can I
wait
say
a minute,
something?
but then I
All you're
realized.
going to hear is from Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. They're going to be on Twitter ASAP because I'll tell you what, that is a big, big, big upset.
Ooh, he deserved it though. I mean, on
Yeah.
my scorecard, I had him up by 3. That's pretty much how the other judges had it. 114, 113. You could have seen that as well for Lopez, but
Wow.
am I surprised? No, I had Kambosos winning
No.
that.
What do you think? I mean, first of all, I mean, well deserved, right? For sure.
Yeah, hats off to the judges for getting it right as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have
Apart from
robbed
that,
him.
to be fair, the 114,
Potentially.
113, it wasn't that bad.
It's
To be
not
fair,
that bad.
you probably could have. Someone probably could have given it 114, 113. There are a couple of swing rounds
Yeah.
in there, so that's fine. But well deserved. Like well deserved. I don't think there's any issues with the decision. I thought
Agree.
he definitely deserved it, and look, I don't think he's undisputed, but he's definitely now he can claim to say I've beat the man. Lopez beat the man, Lomachenko. He was inactive for a whole year. Same with Kambosos, to be fair, as well. But Lopez, I'm going to be honest with you, I think he took his eye off the ball in his preparation, mentally. I think physically he looked okay. Whether he might come out after and say I was a bit dead at the weight, he might move up. I'm assuming there's a rematch clause. Do you think he should take the rematch?
What if I was Lopez? I would.
Or do you think he looks dead at the weight and should move up, or do you think he should take the rematch and say actually I need to get it back because this will be a blemish on his record, right? If he doesn't avenge it.
Yeah, that's true. It is certainly a blemish on the record, and I feel like a Lopez that came in with maybe a bit more focus. I don't know. He might have won this fight, but he rushed into the fight and headhunted too much, and I think that favored Kambosos' style. And I think whenever these two fighters fight, I think it'll be a close fight because there's always that potential that Lopez has the power that he's carrying, and there was always the sharpness of Kambosos that can always try and diffuse that power and that aggression that Lopez brings to the fight. So it was a very close fight. Certainly wasn't a washout. Like it wasn't a type of fight that one fighter was completely dominating. They had their moments. So, and I think people would enjoy seeing a rematch. I would enjoy seeing a rematch. I think it was an exciting fight to watch. But I have a feeling we're not going to see a rematch. I don't think we're going to see a rematch. Yeah, I don't see it. I just I don't know. I don't know whether Lopez necessarily wants that again. I mean, we'll see what he says. You're saying there's a clause, yeah? There's a rematch clause for this.
I'm just assuming. We'll see.
So that's the other thing. I'm assuming there's no rematch clause, but maybe that's
normally
maybe
there
that's
is,
wrong.
but let's see.
Yeah, let's see what he says.
He said, "I'm not the focus on the Emperor." I love it. Yeah, he did.
Fire with fire. To be fair, he didn't get into that many exchanges. He was smart.
He was, I think, and the ones
went
that
for
he
counters.
did, and the ones that he did, he dominated for the most part because he does have, I think, the slight advantage in speed as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kambosos.
And you're right, he was intelligent, wasn't he?
Sounding very, very confident in his post-fight interview, but to be honest, he had his moments where he was basically a punch away from hitting the canvas.
He did, but I think he showed a lot of heart as well. To be fair, and I think he rightfully so he can because at the end of the day, right, most people didn't give him a chance in hell. I didn't.
You're right. You're absolutely right. We didn't give him a chance in hell as well. I mean, we had it Teofimo. We have to remember that.
Mid to late round.
I said Teofimo middle to late. But I think when the fight started, I think that's when I started shifting my view because you could see Kambosos was doing well as soon as we went to the first few rounds. Yeah.
You know what Eddie Hearn in the background, right? He's probably rubbing his hands together. He's probably thinking if there's no rematch clause, I'm going to sign George Kambosos Jr. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to see Devin Haney versus him next because he's been waiting for Devin Haney to get a big fight. And Devin Haney, then, if he wins that, obviously, gets all the belts. Also, can I just say, Mauricio Suleiman must be crying because the whole point of the WBC franchise belt was that you have a guy, right, like Lomachenko, sorry, who you give them the title, but it's not necessarily a title. It's supposed to be a status. So technically, when Lomachenko lost to Lopez, he should have kept the franchise title, but he didn't. And then suddenly the rules changed, and then Lopez has got it. Now George Kambosos has got the WBC franchise title, so it keeps on changing hands, which is literally the complete opposite point of the reason of the WBC franchise belt, because it's supposed to be someone who is almost like above the belts. So it's quite funny that that's completely backfired. It's such a typical like WBC thing. But I mean, yeah, undisputed or not, doesn't matter. He's definitely now up there for sure. I would like to see it again, but I don't know. Do you think Teofimo's dead at the weight? Do you think? I mean, they were saying before that he's going to move up to 140 because he's just struggling. He struggles to make the weight, and it's just a matter of time. Do you think it's that, or do you just think it was lack of mental preparation and underestimating George Kambosos?
I think his game plan was wrong. It didn't pay off. It could have paid off in an alternate universe. He could have won this fight, but
what's he saying?
I just think that it's the fact that his game plan didn't work basically.
Oh no! See, Teofimo is doing exactly what Lomachenko did, and he had to go.
What's he saying? Oh, he's saying he won.
Yeah.
Oh, grow up, man. I mean, come on. I'm not a sore loser. You can't say you're a sore loser and then say you won the fight. Why is he saying this to takeover and stuff? I feel like he feels robbed, right?
He's become deluded after the Lomachenko fight. If he's talking like this, seriously.
You see Kambosos laughing in the background.
Yeah, he is. He's just saying to his team, "Can you hear this guy?"
What's he gonna say?
He just said he didn't believe it was a close fight. Oh my!
He's saying, "I know how these people work." He's the home fighter. He's the home fighter.
He thinks he won.
He doesn't believe it was a close fight.
He said I think he just said, "I think I won 10 out of 12 rounds."
He crazy. Oh, he's saying,
look, I won the fight. I've got the belts. He's like, you want to come get the belts? Come to Australia in front of 80,000 people.
I feel like Teofimo don't want it again, though. Yeah, he says, right now I'm going to go back to the drawing board. No, fair dues. I mean, they're asking him, should it be his last fight at 135? I think he's going to move up.
Oh, excuses though.
I think he's going to move up in weight. He's losing fans.
Yeah, he said it has been draining, but he said no excuses. Yeah. But he's saying, I won the fight. Oh, God, don't talk rubbish.
Yeah, what does he want to do next, George?
His dedication to his grandfather.
Kambosos is a good guy, man.
Thing is, like, Kambosos is fiery, but he has me to respect after.
Teofimo Lopez. Eddie Hearn just look at this.
He's in, mate. I told you, 100%. Give it a week, he'll be signed to Matchroom. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why Eddie Hearn's just sneaking around in the middle of the ring.
There's a reason why I was tapping Kambosos in the corner after the fight. Because I tell you what, even if he lost that, I bet he's signing him because he's thinking this guy, he's going to try and feed him to Devin Haney. Watch. That's really disappointing, you know that as well. Because I tell you what, I was thinking if anyone was going to lose, like, out of Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis, and Devin Haney, it would be against each other.
Mm.
Or if they would face if one of the others would face a Lomachenko or a rematch for Lopez. Apart from Lomachenko, I didn't think anyone else apart from those guys would like lose, right? At this stage anyway. This is a huge upset, and to be fair, I think unfortunately it doesn't look good on Lopez as well, because he's just beaten Lomachenko. A lot of people will now come out and say that was a fluke, and that Lomachenko, like you said, wasn't active in the first 6 rounds, and actually Lomachenko had a shoulder injury, and etc. etc. I do think. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say exactly what I said after the Lomachenko fight, which is that. Well, look at that. Punches connected for both. Look at the high quality. 41% for Lopez, 40% for Kambosos Jr. That is really impressive in terms of power punches.
Mm.
And total punches, Teofimo Lopez had the better at 31%.
Kambosos threw more.
But he threw more for one. And also, I think we have to, again, like take into account, for example, a lot of those shots from Teofimo were very glancing blows. Yes, they're scoring shots. I get that. But as you said, he was busier. And I genuinely think he deserved to win. And I'll say exactly what I said after the Lomachenko win, which is Lopez deserved that. And 7-5, I think it was. He could have gone either way. This one I thought was actually a little bit more clear-cut than that Lopez win over Lomachenko, honestly. But he'll be disappointed, man. He'll be disappointed. I know he said that it's been draining him for 2 years. If it's been draining him for 2 years, then why is he still being at the weight? Like, you can't make that excuse. It's up to you, right? You go in the ring, and you can't then say it after. And to be fair, he did say after that, no excuses, but then he made one, right? So he also said he won the fight. I mean, it kind of worries me when these guys, and I understand that they're supposed to be the new 4 kings. They're supposed to be the guys who are the next, the next superstars. But honestly, like, it's definitely worrying when they talk like this. I mean, Devin Haney thinks he's the bee's knees, and he's got a WBC belt that he hasn't really beat anyone significantly with. Ryan Garcia wearing a crown after beating Luke Campbell, like, it didn't win anything. And Tank Davis is winning all these regular belts. The only one that actually was doing bits was Teofimo Lopez, who beat Lomachenko, and now it looks like it's gone to his head as well. So what could potentially be 4 guys fighting through in different ways could potentially be destroyed by this. But we'll see. Let's hope that Lopez comes back and he has a bit more clarity, because I think what he said after that was outrageous, honestly, and didn't give any respect to Kambosos, which I think is just poor by him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with everything you said there. So, yeah, a bit unfortunate for Lopez to say those things. I mean, clearly we were scoring it round by round, and we had Kambosos winning that fight. I mean, 10-8 is ridiculous. Winning 10 out of 12 rounds is a ridiculous thing for Lopez to say. Yeah. But no, it was a great fight to watch. Exciting fight to watch, and well done to Kambosos. We'll see what the next fight is. I mean, it looks like Teofimo doesn't want the rematch, so we'll see what the next fight is.
Yeah, that's also worrying as well. And that could be just the fact that he is drained, and that could be the reason. Maybe sometimes what happens is you feel like, oh, I'm making weight, and I'm actually, it's hard, but I feel okay. And then when you get into the ring, there's normally a lot of times when people move up, it's actually, they find out in the ring, right? Either they look sluggish and they might just get the win, or it's very close, or they potentially lose, and that's because they have. I mean, he did look quite sluggish, to be fair, but he did also get the knockdown late on. So I think you're right. I think the main problem was the game plan. I think mentality coming into it. He clearly thought he could blow him out in one round. I mean, you could see that from the way that he came out, right? I think that was definitely it's a poor showing, I think, from Teofimo, and he definitely needs to reevaluate how he approaches these fights, and to get his head screwed on right. And all of these fighters do, because honestly, I just think if you're going to be in there and you're going to be fighting, you've got to be 100% in the ring, concentrated. And I feel like he definitely wants the Lomachenko one, but I feel like after that win, some of the things he's been saying as well, and some of the claims, it's silly. And one win doesn't define your career, and I think people need to remember that. I know he's been Richard Comey's a very good fighter as well, but honestly, these guys are so young. Yes, they've got a couple of decent wins, but there's nothing incredible about what any of these guys have done yet. They need to continue going, and they need to say, as AJ would say, stay hungry. But I'm not quite sure if they are really. We'll see. But it seems like money's going to their heads for sure. And look at the schedule ahead. In fact, we've got Haney versus Jojo Diaz. I definitely, I think we may do that. We'll see. But that's next week.
Algeria doing?
So I'm definitely up for that. And then we've got Conor Benn versus Algieri, which is funny because Algieri's on the comms at the moment.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what the heck? I thought Algieri's quit or something. What's he doing fighting?
Zerdo versus Gonzalez, we're not going to do unless Mohammad does it. And then Triple G versus Murata, I think we've got to do. That's unification. So potentially we will be doing, I mean, Ben Algieri's in the UK, so that's like a better time for us. And then next week is Haney versus Jojo Diaz, which I think is quite a good fight. And it's probably a very good fight to cover given now what we've just seen here. And what are we going to see another upset? Jojo Diaz is a good fighter. He's moved up in weight, but he's definitely, he's a former champion. So at what was it, super featherweight it would be. So he beat Tevin Farmer in an upset there. So doing a wrap up. I'm happy to wrap up here.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, all right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. That was a really exciting fight, as we said. It was one of those fights where we had predicted Lopez to win, but boy, were we surprised. Kambosos putting up a really, really good performance, deserves the win. Be exciting to see what his next fight is and to see whether Lopez does decide to move up in weight. Thank you again for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the channel to grow, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care.